Welcome to Module 8 of ADB's e-learning course on project completion reports and reporting gender equality results. So why do we need to report on gender equality results? Well, we know that we have the Strategy 2020 ADB, and it has a results framework, and we have an associated gender policy and a gender operation plan. And in that results framework, it actually states that 70% of ADB's gender mainstreaming projects have got to be successful. So what do we mean by gender mainstreaming? Well, remember, at the start of a project, we prepare a gender action plan, and from that, we design some certain gender elements. So in a project, if it's predominantly a gender-themed project, that's the first classification. The second classification is when there are effective gender mainstreaming elements within the project. The third classification of a project is when there are some gender elements, and the fourth is, of course, when there are no gender elements. Now, in the results framework, what ADB reports on is on the first two, i.e. projects which are predominantly gender-themed, have a gender equity theme, and projects which have effective gender elements. So it's important to remember that of the four types of categorization, only the first two is reported on. Now, how does reporting take place? Well, at the end of the project, we prepare a project completion report. And to the extent that the project at design had talked about, had been classified as either gender equity themed or having some effective gender mainstreaming elements, then there needs to be an appendix prepared in the PCR describing what actually happened in the project itself. So what kind of information is actually needed? Well, you need both the quantitative information, which relates to the indicators and targets that were established against the various activities, and of course qualitative data as well. And I'll touch on that a little bit later. Now, in terms of defining success, it's really at two levels. First of all, from the gender mainstreaming aspects, 70% of the activities as specified in the gender action plan would have to have been completed, and 75% of the targets would have been met. Now, that isn't enough to make a project successful from a gender perspective, because if the overall project is assessed as less than successful, then unfortunately, however well the gender elements are assessed to have performed, the project it's overall unsuccessful. Now, if the project is partly successful, then a closer look is made on the gender results that were achieved, and that's where the qualitative data makes a lot of difference. Now, what do we mean by qualitative data? It's the stories behind the gender action plan that is undertaken. So the more stories you have, the more examples you have about how ADB's intervention has made a difference to the lives of women or have promoted gender equity, then the better place the project is in being classified as successful from a gender perspective. So that's that. Now, towards the end of the module, you'll find a link to a range of examples of gender-themed and EGM project completion reports in the various ADB sectors, and have a look at them and see how that would help you develop and write your own PCRs. The module itself will take about 45 to 60 minutes, and there are 6 questions to answer at the end of the module. It's a self-assessment. It just helps for you to better understand how much you have absorbed of what makes a project successful from a gender perspective. This module does not explain the navigational tools. Please see the other module at the beginning for that. There is no sound audio in this e-learning program unless you click on the video link. And the sources for the information in the modules are usually provided in the ends of the screens in the modules. Each module is designed in such a way that you can go straight to the module of interest without navigating the previous modules. So if you're just interested in PCRs, then click on me. Now, if you wish to obtain a certificate of completion, you will have to complete all 8 modules, answer the quiz questions, hopefully with a 100% pass rate, but 70% will do, and complete the exercise in Module 3. Good luck with Module 8.